The bond humans have with dogs has existed since long before written history. But despite our long friendship, there are still moments of miscommunication between us and our furry little friends. Some behaviors mean completely different things to us than to our quadruped buddies. Humans jump for joy, but do dogs do the same? We bow to show deference and respect. But why do dogs bow? And does anyone know the rationale behind the infamous sploot? Stay tuned to find out what your dog is really trying to tell you with their unique doggo stances. Jumping up. A great example of misunderstood behavior is when dogs jump up at you. To most humans, this simply looks like a pup failing to rein in their excitement. To the dogs, though, this is a sign of dominance. It's an attempt to regain control in an uncertain or uncomfortable situation, usually with a stranger. If you let your dog continue with this behavior, you're conceding the role of pack leader to your dog. It's cute when small puppies do it, but it's less fun when a fully grown pooch scratches you, knocks over fragile items, or causes a general ruckus. The pre-sleep spin. This curious habit may just seem like a funny quirk, but there's a purpose. That cute little spin dogs do over their chosen sleeping spot actually helps prepare them for nap time. This behavior is a leftover instinct from living out in nature. In the wild, the little spin stomp would help to clear debris while also removing some of the warm surface dirt, resulting in a cool, comfortable sleeping spot. Hackles raised, standing stiff. This behavior means your dog is angry or feels threatened. Unmoving eyes and a rigid body and tail means that your dog is very tense and uneasy and could even be preparing to attack. Hackles are the hairs along their backbone. When they're raised, it's to make themselves appear bigger and more threatening to the opposing party. This is a common defense behavior in the animal kingdom, as any national park ranger who's faced off against bears and mountain lions will tell you. For animals, size is everything. Returning to the dogs now, this stance may also be accompanied with growling or snarling. If their mouth is shut, it means they're assessing the situation via scent. In most cases, this is caused by the presence of something or someone they aren't familiar with, like Santa Claus. Get 'em, boy, the scritches kick. Dog owners generally assume when their dog kicks out its leg while being scratched that it's a sign of enjoyment, but that may not be the case. This kicking motion could be a sign that your dog is feeling tickled or irritated. This triggers what is called the scratch reflex, a natural instinct to get rid of the irritation on the skin of a dog's underside. Aside from belly rubs, other sensations that could trigger the scratch reflex are rashes, parasites, or ticks crawling across your dog's underside. If they tend to scramble off after their belly scratch leg kicks, chances are they feel uncomfortable. However, if they flop over after you stop and whine at you, well, you know what to do. Stiff posture, wagging tail. This pose looks a lot like your dog is angry, but the key difference is in their tail and fur. If their hackles aren't raised and their tail is wagging slightly, your dog is likely assessing something new to them. Usually dogs exhibit this pose when approached by a new dog or person. They're showing non-threatening body language while staying on guard as they determine whether the newcomer is a friend or not. Humping. Usually male dogs exhibit this behavior when they reach sexual maturity, but female dogs can do it too. Some dogs do this because they think it's normal play behavior. Can you imagine if humans integrated humping into their games like baseball? Parents would need to cover their kids' eyes when their favorite players reach third base, and never mind home runs. To avoid embarrassment at the dog park, nip this behavior in the bud and discourage your dogs from humping at a young age. Spaying and neutering older dogs can stop them from getting too friendly with your furniture or your neighbor's leg. Tail chasing. Sometimes dogs are goofballs and forget that the swishy things in their peripheral vision is actually their own tail. They give chase and form that hilarious puppy tornado. It's a tale as old as time. However, if your dog seems to be obsessively chasing their own tail, it could be a sign of nervousness, boredom, or some kind of medical condition. Anxious dogs are full of nervous energy, which could lead to obsessive biting and tail chasing. Look for recent changes in your dog's routine that could be causing them anxiety. Similar to anxious dogs, bored dogs have a lot of unused energy. Giving a dog more playtime and attention helps avoid boredom-induced tail chasing and other potentially destructive habits. If your dog isn't anxious or bored, check their tail and behind for any rashes or parasites. They might be chasing their tail due to irritation. Digging. Most dog owners are familiar with the sight of their dog's butt up in the air and dirt flying all over the place. But why do dogs dig? There are a number of reasons, one of which is another remnant of their wild ancestors. Wild dogs bury their food to keep it safe from other predators. Your dog still has the very same instinct to bury their valuables in order to keep it safe, and to dig to find some other extra goodies. Other dogs dig because of instincts to build a den, search for prey, create a nice cool patch to lay in, or even as part of an escape plan. Yep, your pup might have taken a dislike to all those fences and walls and may fancy themselves the star of the Paw Shank Redemption. Or like many behaviors on this list, they might just be having fun and letting off steam. I can dig either option. Bowing. Head low, butt in the air, and tail a-wagging. Unlike humans, this isn't a display of worship, despite what you might hope. Dogs usually assume this position to say they want to play. This is usually accompanied by a little hopping and spinning to exaggerate the bowing motion and to show how enthusiastic they are. The lowered head shows that your dog is trying to look as non-threatening as possible, while the wagging tail indicates excitement. Paw up, standing stiff. Ever noticed your dog lifting its paw or looking back and forth between you and a certain point in the distance? These actions are embodiments of a behavior known as pointing.